You open your eyes, but there's a problem. You're Erebus. No, not some enchanted prince name from an RPG. You're literally the primordial personification of absolute darkness. Congratulations. Your cosmic function is to be the shadowy void of the universe. What an honor. And spoiler alert, today you're going to discover something no primordial entity should ever discover. You wake up in Tartarus, the deepest, darkest hole in the cosmos. The air is dense, freezing, and smells like absolutely nothing because even smells are terrified to exist near you. You get up from your non-bed because primordial beings don't sleep on a Tempur-Pedic, and you notice the first truth of the day: you're alone. Again, as always, like you have been for the last billions of years. Nyx, your wife and personification of night, already gone. Not even a note, not even a "good morning, my favorite abyss." Nothing. You try not to take it personally, but you two are literally the two faces of the absence of light. A minimum of marital affection would be just nice, but it's fine. Primordial solitude is basically your middle name or third name. You're not even sure if you have documentation. You decide to start the day doing what you do best, existing darkly. Through the darkest corners, those places where not even hope dares to step. It's almost therapeutic. Almost, because deep in your primordial essence, you're starting to feel something strange, something you've never felt before in billions of years. But we'll get back to that. First, you need to deal with him. Hypnos, your son, the god of sleep. He's literally running away from you, sneaking out, trying not to make a sound, as if you were some monster that wakes up at any noise. You try to be a present father. "Good morning, son." The response, a terrified mumble while the temperature drops 10 degrees. He speeds up like he's running from an overdue bill. "I need to pause here. This hurts more than it seems." The guy literally came from you. From your primordial essence. And he acts like running into you in the hallway is worse than stubbing your toe on the coffee table. You don't say anything, just keep floating darkly, because emotional confrontations aren't your thing. Your thing is oppressive darkness and awkward silence. You head to the common area of Tartarus, where the popular crowd of darkness hangs out. Imprisoned titans, shadowy entities, the cosmic back-of-the-class crew. When you enter, the environment literally dies. Not a metaphor, literal. The torches dim, the shadows grow denser. Conversations stop. Everyone greets you with that cold respect you give a guillotine, not a person. Erebus, they say, with a nod of the head. Nobody smiles. Nobody makes small talk. Nobody asks how your weekend was. And here's where it starts getting interesting, because for the first time in eons, you realize nobody actually likes you. They respect you. They fear you. But like, never. You try to talk to Thanatos, your other son. Death itself. If anyone would understand the dark, misunderstood vibe, it'd be him, right? Wrong. Thanatos listens politely as you talk about how the darkness has been especially oppressive, but you see in his eyes that universal expression of, "I wish I was literally anywhere else right now." Even death prefers to avoid you. Death. Let that sink in for a second. And this is where you, Erebus, need to face a brutal truth. You need affection. You need validation. You're a primordial cosmic force, and you're having an existential crisis because nobody gives you attention. And you know who can give you that validation that his family denies him? You. Yeah, you watching this. If you don't want Erebus to have a breakdown and turn off the sun right now, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It's the only way to prove that someone, somewhere in the universe, likes the dark. Did it? Great. Cosmic self-esteem thanks you. The next few hours are you existing in various dark corners of the cosmos, doing your job as a primordial personification, and being systematically avoided by everyone. You pass by the Styx, the river that separates the living from the dead. Even the damned souls move away when you approach. Souls that are already dead, avoiding you. You start wondering if you did something wrong, but no, you literally just exist. That's your crime. You decide to be bold, brave, vulnerable, things primordial forces shouldn't be. You're going to really talk to Nyx. Maybe she'll understand. After all, you two are practically the same thing in different essences. You find her at the threshold between Tartarus and the upper world, where she prepares to cover the sky in nighttime darkness. She looks radiant, as much as possible for a primordial goth. You try to seem casual. "Nyx, we need to talk." She looks at you with that expression of, "Oh no, here comes the serious conversation." But she's polite. Billions of years of marriage teach you some things. About what, Erebus? You take a deep breath, or do the primordial equivalent of that, and let it out. Do you think people avoid me? I observe the silence that follows. It's heavier than a black hole, denser than dark matter. Nyx clearly didn't expect vulnerability from a primordial personification of darkness. She hesitates, chooses her words with surgical care, and finally drops the bomb. Erebus, you're intense. When you arrive, light literally dies. People feel the weight of absolute darkness. It's your nature. Honest translation. It's not you, it's me. Wait, no. It's definitely you. You're the problem. She didn't say she loved you, didn't say people liked you. Just explained the obvious as if you were a natural phenomenon that needs context. An earthquake, a tsunami, an uncomfortable darkness that needs to be tolerated. You thank her for the honesty, because that's what mature adults do. But something inside you, in that part that might be the primordial equivalent of a heart, hurts. You always knew you were different, that your presence was oppressive. But hearing this from Nyx, the only one who should understand, is especially dark. And when I say especially dark, believe me, it's really dark. Nyx needs to go. She has her night shift, needs to cover the world with that soft, comfortable darkness that people actually love. The good kind of darkness, the one that helps you sleep well, not the kind you represent, which makes people pray for light. You're alone, again, always alone. And here comes the part you've been putting off all day. You cross paths with Hemera, your daughter, the personification of day. She's literally your opposite, all bright and luminous. When she sees you, her light instinctively dims, as if your mere existence were a threat to her brightness. You don't talk. You never talk. She's everything you're not, desired, loved, awaited. People love when she arrives. They celebrate the coming of morning. They write songs about dawn. They compose poems about daylight. And you're what children fear under the bed. What adults run from. The darkness that needs to be defeated. You watch her pass by, radiant and happy, greeting everyone with that warm smile. And you feel the existential void growing. It's not envy. It's worse. It's the painful awareness that you'll never be that, never be loved like that, no matter what you do. In the afternoon, if afternoon even exists in Tartarus, you try to be useful, productive. Maybe if you added value, people would respect you not just out of fear, but out of genuine admiration. You reinforce the chains that hold problematic titans. You organize shadows into more efficient layers of darkness. You even try to give advice to lost souls. But in all these moments, you feel that distance. That thanks, Erebus, you were very helpful. Now please get out of my face. It's polite, it's respectful, but it's not love. It's never love. You find the darkest corner of the universe, darker than normal, if that's even possible, and you just exist there, without doing anything, without trying to be useful or sociable, just existing in all your dark and solitary glory. And in this moment of absolute silence, you have the revelation, the real-life plot twist that no primordial force wants to have. That moment of brutal clarity that hurts more than any physical wound. Maybe you weren't made to be loved. Maybe your function in the cosmos is exactly this: to be the darkness everyone avoids, the void everyone fears, solitude personified, the monster in the closet so others can turn on the light and feel safe. It's not a Disney happy ending. There's no inspirational music. There's no redemption moment where everyone realizes you were cool all along. It's just the raw, honest truth of a primordial existence. And in a way, there's a morbid comfort in it. You are what you are. Trying to be something else would be denying your own essence, would be lying to yourself. And primordial forces don't lie. They just exist in their purest and most brutal form. But that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It hurts in a way only eternal darkness can hurt. Deep, silent. No tears because you don't have eyes. No screams because your voice is oppressive silence. Just the constant pain of existing without being loved. Hours pass, or don't pass, because time is relative when you've existed since before time was a thing. You return to your corner in Tartarus, that place you call home for lack of a better word, for lack of any other place where you belong. Nyx still hasn't returned, probably avoiding coming home too. Early. Your children are busy with their own personifications, happy they don't have to deal with you. You're alone, like you always have been, like you always will be. And now you know it consciously. You lie down, or do the primordial equivalent of lying down. Close the eyes you don't have and accept the cycle. Tomorrow will be another identical day. You'll wake up alone. You'll scare people unintentionally. You'll be respected out of fear and avoided by instinct. And you'll go back to sleep alone. An eternal cycle, unchanging, just like you. I end this by observing the brutal cosmic irony of it all. Erebus, the very personification of darkness, discovered that there's a darkness even greater than himself. A darkness he doesn't control. A darkness that can't be dispelled with light. The darkness of existential loneliness. Unlike the physical darkness he masters with primordial expertise, this inner darkness has no end, no relief, no cure, no light at the end of the tunnel. Because, my friend, he is the tunnel, and tomorrow it all starts again.